So we are having the second session acting from the module Acting for Sustainability. So today we are going to address the subunit 4 of the module. So business and sustainability. So that is you can find, as I said, in the module. So today is with us Sevasti Savvaidou. She is going to lead the workshop, so I will welcome her. But before, I would like to remind everyone, please don't forget to do the questionnaire at the beginning of the module and at the end of the module. So without any other word, welcome Sevi, and the stage is yours.
Thank you. Hello, everybody. I'm Sevi. I am replacing Alexander only for this session because there's another workshop that he's giving today. I am doing the community management at Impact Hub Stuttgart. So we are together with Alexander Bernhardt. And let me share the screen. Today, as Lizette said, it will be a little workshop on business and sustainability. And for that reason, you will be divided in some groups working on a topic. I'm not sure if you have done something like this before. There will be random groups of 4 or 5. And the task about it will be just a little case study where you will have to think about a business or search about a business which is known to have taken huge steps towards broader societal and environmental goals. It could be an example you want. It could be a big business or a smaller, or it could be a smaller company or a local or anything. And then mostly you will have to think how these actions, what they have made, have shaped their brand narratives and their market positions, and maybe what are the challenges and rewards they have encountered during this process. Because you will be divided in different rooms, I would actually ask you to screenshot the task, as you will not be able to see it during the whole time because you will be in the different groups. So please screenshot this slide. And then I will also go from group to help you with that. If you have any questions, you can always ask. You can discuss it. And I have also some examples of some questions that you could think about. This is also a slide that you could screenshot. For example, what was the motive of the company, for example, for implementing these sustainability measures? If, for example, they thought about it their own, or if there was some external pressure from the public on that or from regulations, how and if this commitment has impacted their products or their marketing, or in general, how it has been affected them in what way. Also, if these measurements are genuine, or maybe somebody could call them part of a green or social washing campaign, and if there are also downsides. You don't have to reply to all of these questions. These are some examples what you could see. Mostly it's to really check an example of a business, and then each group will have 5 minutes to present what they found to share with each other. I hope it's not a very big task. It's really, you will need to choose only one business example and then think about some of these parts, not all of them, because maybe not all the information is available online. Yep. So if you have some questions before you are divided to the rooms, then I will return to the slide that you can see if you also have some questions. Nope. Okay. Then I would divide you, and then I will come to check the different groups. Of course, you are encouraged to also open your cameras besides your microphones, which is better for you to interact. And yes, you that you are here, you can all work together. Yes. So see you in a while. First of all, thank you all of you for the contribution. It will be all of you, you will see that it's very, very interesting that you have chosen different fields and different businesses, and I can't wait really to listen to what you have found. I was thinking of starting like with the groups. So group 1 to go first, group 2 to go second, unless there is somebody that is really, really urgent and they want to leave. But I think we will finish earlier anyway, because as I said, it will just be 5 minutes presentation and then a small sum up, and then we will finish the Zoom meeting. But yes, thank you very much, all of you. Would you want group 1 to start? I think all of you have the opportunity to share screen or share links or share anything. If you don't, please ask us. But yes, would you want to start? I think, Ronald, if you feel free, you don't have to turn on cameras, just share with us.
Okay. Unfortunately, there was only 2 in group who were working. Other ones were silent. I don't know why, honestly. Basically, a colleague from Split as well, Eva, we adopted idea about a firm who took greening part in town very seriously, and they made a project not only for now, for the future, where they will implant 1,750 trees and 13,000 of bushes all over to the town, together with 10 fountains for drinking the water. It's a very huge project, and what is very important, that European community, the Fund for Environment, give them green light, and they give them approximately 85% of the investment money, and all through project is about a little bit shy of €500,000. Okay, I don't know, did I forget something? So, as I said, the challenges when they encountered was how to gain money. They gain it through European funds. Motivation was to make whole city green, and not only that, they made campaign when they included whole city, all occupants, with motto, "Don't be a stump, plant a tree." It was really funny. And can you imagine if you have family to take your children into the town to put tree, what they will find for another 30 or 40, 50 years from now in the place where they put it. I don't know, did I explain it well, but that is idea anyway.
Thank you very much for sharing. I'm not sure if you have any questions. I had the question when I heard about this project, because it's very promising and very good. And since we're discussing about the marketing and campaigns, and there was the question also how they became more competitive, I asked Ronald, yeah, that's a very cool project. I'm from Greece, but I live in Germany, but I didn't hear about that before. So how did this help them, or how did this create a competitive advantage to them? And actually you have an answer, Ronald, right?
Yes, and not only that, the advantage was with this project, they were put on a chart, and for example, let's say that you and me personally have a firm, and when you see how much they put effort in future in environment, you will take them instead of somebody else who didn't do anything for your town, for your country, or for your environment. That was their game, their objective, and they do it perfectly. Sorry, they done it perfectly.
Okay. Thank you very much for sharing. I'm not sure if people from Split are aware about this, probably, since it's
Yes,
something.
they are, and not only that, in Bristol as well, there was talking about that in the how you say, the European Community.
Commission.
Yeah, in European Commission, it was really praised and really good project. Now I will say goodbye because I need to go. I hope that you liked my project and what we from our group present to you all.
Thank you very much. Thank you for sharing also. Great. That is a nice example, a success story, I would say. We can move on then to the second group that also has actually a very interesting case study. Have you decided who will present it? Will it be you, Max? Yes, perfect.
All right. So thanks to the power of ChatGPT, I created a short, quick presentation summarizing the most important parts. So yeah, the company I chose was Ben & Jerry's. I guess most of you heard about it. They sell ice cream, and they have been quite active since they got founded in the social and environmental projects. These are just some of their sustainable efforts. Fair trade ingredients, halving the greenhouse gas emissions by 2024, so by next year. If you just read through them, they've been quite active, and they are quite active. We can see some of their self-proclaimed missions. It's a value-led business model. They want to sell good ice cream, which is fair and sustainable, like environmentally friendly. And they've been done that for over 30 years by now. I think they got founded in the 80s or 70s or something. So yeah, that's even a little longer than 30 years now. So what about the impact on the product marketing and positioning? They use renewable energy and fair trade ingredients, which cost more, obviously, than choosing the cheapest option. Same for cow welfare and environmental impact in general, but we can see on the right on the graph, it doesn't hurt them. The sales go up and up. They doubled their sales in the last 10 years, which is not just impressive, but I guess necessary if they support some of the more expensive products, campaigns and projects. So is it genuine or is it a social washing? One of the biggest reasons for me to say that it's an honest agenda for them is that they're transparent with the challenges they face. For example, I don't know if you heard about it, it wasn't that bad, but there were some herbicides that traces in the ice cream. It is bad, but they've been transparent about it and dealt with it and addressed it themselves. So yeah, they're standing against greenwashing. So I guess it's fair to say that it's not just for marketing sake. They actually care about the projects. And I said they've been doing that for over 30 years. So that speaks for itself as well. One of the downsides already named it, the cost and complexity of the supply chain management. They have strong competitors on the market, but as I've shown before, they doubled their sales. So I guess they are fine in the market for now. I basically mentioned that, but here you can see vegan ice cream is another part, how they act sustainable, non-dairy ice cream. There's a campaign example that I found. I don't know, there was more the US thing. I don't think I heard about it in Europe. No, I don't think so. So in 2015, the US Supreme Court legalized gay marriage, and they celebrated that by renaming their most famous ice cream I do, which is like a play on words for the I do, what you say. And the proceeds went to the human rights campaign fighting for LGBT rights. The conclusion, in my opinion, Ben & Jerry's is a good example for a sustainable business practice because they've been doing that for a long time in multiple different facets. Yeah, but you're free to disagree, but I'd be willing to hear your reasonings for that.
Thank you very much for sharing. Maybe somebody
You're
could
welcome.
disagree with you, but not really with ChatGPT. But thank you really so much for everything. It is a great example. I'm not sure if you have questions. The question what I had was really, how did you come up with this example, if you were aware of any of these?
Well, I heard about some of their campaigns, or I've seen their products and the designs they chose. And for example, the fair trade logos or the vegan logos, yeah, they're always on top of the game, I guess, with the trend that's going on. And yeah, in my home city, Hamburg, there has been a campaign with one of the football clubs, which was against racism, St. Pauli. So yeah, that was like the first time I heard about it. So yeah, that was the first company that came to my mind when I read the task we had to do.
Great, thank you. Thank you very much.
You're welcome. Thank you.
If you don't have any questions, then we can move on to group number 3. Which had as an example McDonald's, a very sustainable company. Let me say no. Yes,
Hi.
Sharing.
So our group has chose McDonald's as an example. We know that it's not a very sustainable company, but they have been trying to. In this renovation, McDonald's has worked in collaboration with Pearl Fisher, creating new packagings for the products. They have created a visual framework for the products and also with Turner Duckworth in the design. And not only has changed the design, they also have changed the main material. It used to be all plastic, and now it's a percent made of paper. It wasn't a one-day thing, as they posted us. They say that since 2018, we have reduced virgin fossil fuel-based plastic in Happy Meal toys by 47%, helping replace plastic in Happy Meals toys around the world. It's not only in the food packaging, it's also in their famous Happy Meal toys. By the end of 2022, there are approximately 81% of the world towards their goal of sourcing 100% of packaging from renewable. As we can see, they are planning to use reusable packaging to reduce their plastic waste 100%. So basically, the main reasons that they have been doing this is because of environmental and social pressure, because a lot of people were talking that a huge company such as McDonald's has such an impact in the plastic contamination in the world. Corporate responsibility, environmental regulations, circular economy, and consumer demand. We can also see that a lot of people are very happy with this decision. and it's also helping McDonald's reputation. So that's it.
Thank you very much for sharing. A question that I had was because they claimed a lot of numbers, like they claimed that they did this, they reduced this by 81% or 85% or whatever. Did they have any access to data? Did you find anything?
We searched a lot, but we didn't find the numbers. We only have like 30 minutes, so we didn't find them. But we have the page that was claiming that they do it.
All right, great. Keep this in mind. When we finish, we will share something regarding like a more general thought about this. McDonald's is a nice example that we tested because it's a very big company, and it is good to see what were the reasons behind it. But keep this as an example for later. Thank you very, very much for sharing.
You're welcome.
If you don't have any other questions, we can move on to group number 4, which had chosen H&M. Who is gonna present from the room? Okay, perfect. Thank you very much.
No problem. I will send a link into the chat because we don't have a presentation, but if you want to click through some of their statements while I talk, I will send it in the group. Yeah, that's a link for the H&M group company, where they talk all about their sustainable goals and also the goals for the future, what they already achieved and stuff. Okay, then we will talk about H&M, which is a company maybe I think all of you are familiar with, and also maybe you experienced it by yourself that during the last few years the prices were rising a lot. Like in the past, H&M was known for having very cheap prices, getting a lot for your money, and this changed over the years. And one of the reasons is there are no new sustainable goals. I can read you one statement of them that summarizes their sustainable goals in general. Because also on the link I sent in, they say the fashion industry depends heavily on natural resources. While raw material production can be harmful to people and planet, there are materials that leave a lighter footprint. We make every effort to source more responsibly, guided by our policies, ambitions, and goals. Yeah, and they do the sustainable goals through 3 pillars. One is recycled, one is regenerative, and the third one is responsible. The recycled one is basically that they use past used materials, recycle them, and continue to use them for new products. The regenerative is that they use also raw materials that can be regenerated by the agricultural practices, and that they can also improve soil health. So also looking out for the resources, and responsible is also for the general stuff the environment, obviously, again, but also human rights, animal welfare, and also supporting local communities. And their motive for all those practices, being more sustainable, was for one reason, obviously, the public opinion, because sustainable is also a trend currently. A lot of people are more conscious about their footprint, about what they consume, what businesses they support. So they also do a lot of marketing strategies to make everyone known that they support sustainability. But also, of course, they do it for fighting climate change, for what they said, a lighter footprint. This, like I mentioned in the beginning, had effects on the products. So now they have a better quality. Also, you maybe know their conscious line, which is like basically a product line where they are very aware of the materials they use, and which is basically their most sustainable line. But also this resulted in higher prices. But now here's the thing. The marketing strategy is also now heavily influenced by the sustainability goals by them. For example, they talk a lot about that they cooperate with the WWF. You maybe know it's a very famous organization that is that the main goal is basically to protect animal wildlife, and also they talk about that they're very transparent. Yeah, so the marketing is also focused on the goals, the sustainable goals. But for example, they said that they reached the goal of reducing their water usage while producing the clothes by 30%. But there was actually kind of an outrage, a public outrage, because other companies researched a little bit about H&M and if they really reached the goals or if it's greenwashing. And they found out instead of using 30% less water, they actually used 30% more water. So basically all of their kind of goals, which I mean, some of them are probably reached. We didn't find so many data on this. So also we cannot really know exactly if it's really as sustainable as H&M wants us to think, but also we didn't have so much time to research, so I don't want to say more about this. But yeah, H&M is always one of the topics that is talked about when people talk about greenwashing and if it's really as sustainable as they say it is, because also what I said, it's now like more a trend, the sustainability. So a lot of companies want to show, oh, we're so sustainable, you can buy from us because also we have the same goals as you. But most of the times, or some of the times, the marketing doesn't really always tell the truth.
Thank you very
Okay.
much. Really, you said everything. What at your last sentences? What the results out of this are? Because you are right. It's mostly about this. And greenwashing. I can see some emotions here. Yes, very smart. Nice, but thank you very much for sharing. You said you didn't have so much time. Imagine what you would find if you had more time. Thank you very much for this example. Really. To move on, I would say that because that was a great example and very well justified, means if you have any questions, we can discuss them later, but you gave us very important points to think about. And with that, we will continue with group number 5. Can you please let us know if you're going to present 2 or 1 examples? What you decided?
We will present 2 examples.
Okay.
First is going to be Miriam, and then it's going to be me with the second.
Perfect.
Okay, so we chose Unilever. I think a lot of you actually know Unilever because as I think it was Max presented Ben & Jerry's. So Unilever's brand is, for example, Ben & Jerry's, or they also have Marmite or Iced Tea, Dove, that are all like the brands that belong to Unilever. So it's a multinational consumer goods company, and they have a wide range of products, including food and beverages, cleaning agents, beauty and personal care items, and so on. And they're actually very proactive in incorporating sustainability into their business model, and they're also known for their commitment to the sustainable development goals. And the motives for that will, like, I think it was someone else of my group. I can't remember her name, but she will talk you through the motives.
And the commitment of Unilever to addressing the climate change, reducing like the plastic waste, regenerating nature, and improving living standards. And in this company corresponds with the Global Sustainable Development Goals. And these goals are really good for making changes and helping to make the world better and more fair for everyone by the year 2030. And Unilever's and growth plans, which include making the world and its people healthier and also creating a more inclusive society, demonstrate their dedication to sustainability. They have implemented solid management systems throughout their organization and also recognizing the importance of effective management in achieving their commitments.
Yes, and I will go on with the challenges that they face. So, as I told you, they have a wide range of products. So, there's a complex supply chain behind it, and they face the challenge of managing it with diverse stakeholders, ensuring that there's sustainability across this network, and this required continuous and still requires continuous effort and collaboration. And then also they have to face changing consumer expectations around sustainability, which are evolving rapidly, and keeping the pace up with these expectations and maintaining the profitability is a challenge for them. And then also we saw that they have now higher costs of production because of their sustainable practices. Yes, because they made significant investments, for example, in renewable energy or water conservation and waste reduction. But they also were rewarded with like similar things. For example, for their innovation and product development, they are now the first company regarding sustainability when it comes to the food and beverage market, for example. So they have a huge competitive advantage. And also they mitigate their risk by addressing environmental and social issues and with their shifts in consumer preferences. And we also went on their website and saw on their sustainability report what they exactly did. So, for example, they reduced virgin plastic by 13% against the 2019 baseline through an increased use of recycled plastic and innovations that use less plastic. And for climate activation, for example, they prioritized initiatives of their 5 business groups to tackle their biggest emission sources and deliver annual emission reductions. And they also helped regenerate nature. For example, 81% of their key agricultural crops were sustainably sourced, and they continue to empower farmers and smallholders to protect and regenerate farmland. So, yeah, Unilever, as I think often seen as a non-sustainable company, and there are still some things there that are like not very transparent, but still they are showcasing at least effort. And I feel like it's very hard in the food and beverage industry to make everything right and everything sustainable. So I think it's a good example. Yes, that was it.
Okay, now I will continue with our second example that I got familiar with doing my professional practice with faculty. Miriam, can I ask you? Okay, you stopped with screen sharing. And wait a moment so I can share my screen so you can see the hotel that I will be talking about. Okay, do you see the
Yes.
shares? Okay, so this is an example that I learned about, as I said, doing my professional practice. And it is first introduced by the European Tourism Going Green 2030 project, which aimed at promoting and encouraging sustainability in tourism and is worth 1.3 million euros and is co-financed by the European COSME program. So one of these hotels that is located in Split, Croatia, also got their certificate by this ETGG project. We can so their motto is that sustainability increases the value, and Cornaro got its little booklet that is introducing their guests about what they're offering as green meeting program. They have services that they offer that are or sustainable or leaning to sustainability. They have clean and safe stay, green meetings, and they are doing the best that they can with the Cornaro's gastronomy because they are using local food with seasonal local ingredients. They are trying to do I don't know questionnaires. What are you gonna eat to save some like food. They also I like a specific side this workshop that I did with them by the how can I say it to say some problems that could show up if the hotels were not great known in the area or there are not the bigger ones. The problem should mostly be the initial investment that they should make because it's the amount of money that some small companies cannot provide, and because the project is how can I say this? Because the project is with the European Union, it helps them. It helps them promote them and to show them the better parts of the sustainability. That's all.
Great. Thank you, both of you, for sharing. It is great to see a very, very big company example. Actually, it was interesting to see that they had the challenges that we discussed before with the Ben & Jerry's example, because it is actually part of them. So it was very nice for this crossover and also to see a local example. Yes, I will not ask any questions regarding this because we had two examples now. I will directly move on to the next group, but thank you so much, both of you, for showing us these very interesting examples. Group number 6 had Ford as an example. Who is gonna present it?
I can, if everybody is okay with that. So let me just share a screen. So we had a Ford. Just a second. It's environmental and social governance. So
If you're talking, Dora, we cannot hear you. But I'm not sure if we lost connection, if she lost connection. Probably. Maybe not to lose time, we can go to group number 7 and then continue with Ford.
Yeah, if you rather like wait for her, perfect. But if she doesn't come back, don't worry. The rest of the group, we can try to do it anyways.
Sure. Do you? Yeah, maybe we can go to
I'm
7
back.
and then
I'm
come back.
back. My internet broke.
Perfect.
Yeah.
No worries.
Yeah, so I was trying to say that they have a lot of reports that can justify their work. They also have visions for the future and climate change, waste, water, materials, and energy. And they have on their website that I can I think I already pasted in the chat. You have a link for Ford Motor Company, their website, where you have all the documents about their climate report, water report, human rights progress report, climate change report, and more others. They're really caring about the future and want to preserve the pollution. We didn't find any disadvantages from our side and from the green side, but some people, as we know, don't like electrical cars. They're more like old school, as we could say. But from our perspective, it's really good to be to know that our world is polluted and that we have to reduce it. So, and the Ford company received so many awards for being a green company. I think it was 3 or 2. So it's a really good example of green policy.
Great.
Yes.
Thank you very much for that. Do you want to continue with number 7? They had as an example IKEA.
Yes, definitely.
Okay, so let me see how I can present this.
And then it's you.
Is it presenting now?
Yes, thank you.
Okay, so we're gonna talk about IKEA, which I think you know it. It's a Swedish company that sells furniture. And I think the main motive we have found for its change towards sustainability is the fact that nowadays there's a shifting tendency towards sustainability and eco-friendly products. Because as we know, the Earth has very limited resources. And I think people are becoming more aware of that. So that indicates one of the reasons of the shift IKEA is doing. Another one is the need for resource efficiency, to make the most of it, to make it renewable. For example, I'm a student of the University of Malaga, and well, we have an IKEA here. And one of the things they have implemented is that there's a parking space with solar panels on it. So that way the retail store uses that electricity to boost the store. And the parking has shades for the car. So that's one of the examples I've seen in person. Another big reason is the brand image and reputation, because as I said before, there's a big change towards this eco-sustainable reality, and IKEA is embracing it to gain potential clients and shift into other markets.
as well as gaining advantage over its competitors, because this is my opinion, but I think when you thrive for sustainability, you also look into innovation. You try to be more efficient, come up with new ways of production, and in a way or another, you end up either cutting costs or being more efficient than the competitors. So that's big. And many of the things IKEA promotes here, we have seen it. For example, it's every single year it's selling more plant-based foods. I think the data is here. Yeah, for example, in this case, we're talking about the vegetable hot dog. So every year it's selling more. And by 2030, IKEA has made an objective of being completely plant-based. So that's also a big news. And that's it by me. I think my teammate Rocco will continue.
Great. Thank you very much. It's good that they will have some vegetable ball options and hot dogs also.
Yeah, definitely.
And it was very important what you said about innovation. And innovation doesn't have to be versus sustainability. It is important that even big companies that are established in the market for a lot of years rethink and reshape their products or their strategies. So thank you very much for sharing this also. And the last example for today, it's the team that we have the honor to have here with us from Hochschule der Medien. I think they're also connected via Zoom.
They are also connected. I'm just not sure. I think if I speak my mind, you need to turn on.
Yes, I will mute myself.
Speaker of yours.
Sure.
Let me see. So we don't hear. It's terrible to hear yourself speaking, so we try to avoid that. Okay, let me just make this. See? Okay. So the last company we want to present or speak about is a little bit smaller. It's like a German local company. They do sustainable condoms. The company uses 100% rubber from agroforestry systems in southern Thailand. The outer packaging consists of paper made from 100% recycled paper fibers and some varnish. They previously used paper and plastic, so they changed over time. And the new packaging is also about aluminium. Then, just because I can't read it like this. 1 second, okay. They were founded with a crowdfunding campaign, and they claimed in the campaign that they're the first sustainable condom. They got sued for that because there was another company that already did the same thing in Germany, and they were not allowed to say that anymore. But they probably did it on purpose. There are some interviews where they also kind of claimed it just to get more attention in the beginning, and also to be to get people more aware of the fact that that's not the common way of how these things get produced. And then what was also controversial in the beginning when they started is their work environment, because they don't have a hierarchy, or they have instead a lot of individual responsibilities. But that's not how teams usually work completely, or a company is not running completely. So you still need structure. You still need someone that is somehow saying where to go. So they learned from this, and they hired a therapist because it needs a lot of communication in between. And they organize monthly meetings for critics and complaints, and also say about themselves that this kind of work is using a lot more communication than usually. Then they're very, I don't know, like, how do you say, call it an idol, a role model in Germany, at least, for the new work, because the employees were in the beginning able to set their own salary completely, but this kind of failed. And now there is a salary council of 3 people, I think, from the company that have clear rules and discuss about who's earning how much. And you can see all of the rules also as an extern. You don't need to be in the company, but everyone in the company knows exactly who is earning how much money. And there are things like, if you have a child, you get 400 euros extra, or if you're moving, you get more vacation time, or if you have special needs like an ongoing how do you say it? Ausbildung. Wow, my English is educational apprenticeship. Yeah. They get also additionally money to their salary. And then they have a fully hybrid work, so everyone can decide where and how they want to work, and also they have the 4 days week. And then in 2019, the founders transferred their shares, so what they hold of the company, to a purpose foundation. So the company belongs itself. And that means, in conclusion, that they can't be sold and also not inherited to anyone from the company or their families. And all the employees, they automatically hold some shares of that. So they are all entitled to vote in important decisions. And then they're following their own values. Everything they found out or they worked for, they share their sustainable latex with other competitors. So everyone has, in theory, of course, the chance to produce sustainable condoms because they want to make the world more sustainable and not only their own products. They want to reinvent the period education. Oh yeah, I forgot to say that in the beginning, they also sell period products. So they go into schools and educate about that. And then they had, in Germany, they were one of the main powers behind the change in the tax system, because period products were taxed as a luxury product. And that changed this year or last year they changed it, so it's more it's cheaper and more accessible for everyone. And then yeah, our last is it authentic or questionable? I think it's the same with the Ben and Jerry's. We were very convinced that it's a pretty good start and a pretty good try to new work and new ways of producing things, but it's a question everyone needs to answer by themselves. And that's the end. Done. Now you can't hear anything because you need.
Yes. Thank you so much also for the very interesting example. Right. Thank you. Really, to sum up, I would like again to thank all of you for the contribution. Actually, this session was all about you today. You worked in the group. Some groups had some more members involved, some less, but it's fine. Even if you attended and heard the session, it was really important. Thank you all of you for the contribution. Just some points to sum up. What we discussed and we saw some bigger company examples and some smaller company, some local projects or some local but very important projects or campaigns. One thing to think about is that there are some great things happening at local level and they're not aware. There are some hidden gems. And now, since you are also baby junior entrepreneurs and you are developing your own ideas, you can think of some marketing strategies or some marketing tricks, as we were presented by the last group, how you could promote great things happening. Another very popular thing nowadays is actually creating communities about things. So yeah, not to become and stay hidden gems, but become bigger. And what we also saw was that some other companies that are years in the market and they have established their own market and a big clientele, that sometimes we are questioning them still. So transparency is a very, very important factor. What kind of things we can find available online, so as to make somebody trustworthy or not. The innovation part doesn't have to be contradictory with the sustainability. Still, we can rethink things, we can reshape things, we can redevelop products and services. And another thing that I promised you to remember about McDonald's or about Unilever or about big companies, I wanted to share a personal story and close with this food for thought. I'm a biologist, and at one project that I took part in, we had to cooperate with Nestle about a project, and we were discussing as team if we want to do this or not. But this is the question that I want to leave you with. If, for example, cooperating with a big company is greenwashing or not? Because on one hand, of course, it's greenwashing and it could bring more customers to them. But on the other hand, cooperating with bigger company means that it has maybe bigger impact because they develop more products, so they reach more people. So yeah, just a small food for thought regarding this. What is more important at the end of the day, the motive or the result? Yes, that is it from my side. Thank you so much. I hope you enjoy and you will continue great with the modules. Don't forget to do the survey, the questionnaire that you have to do at the beginning of the module. And yes, thank you very, very much for your time also. I hope we finished a bit earlier. A little bit even. Oh, no, not so much. I'm sorry. But yes, thank you very much for your time. I'm not sure if you're going to close off. No? Okay, then thank you very much.